What's up? Hope everyone's having a good day and is ready for another video in the series we like to call Underrated Throwers. Now, today we got Ryan Whiting. I thought I've made a video on him before, but I guess I haven't, so I'll make one now. Nowadays, people might know him as the head throws coach for ASU, the alma mater of Maggie Ewing and Turner Washington. And actually, I think Turner Washington's and now Jordan Guy's coach as well. In their post-collegiate careers. So, but people probably also don't know, or maybe you do. For the younger people out there, you probably won't know that he's also a silver medalist at the World Champs in 2013 in Moscow, a two-time indoor world champ, and a 22-28 meter thrower outdoors and a 22-35 meter thrower indoors. And I'm speaking in terms of shot put, as you can probably guess by this picture. I know this picture says 21:47. This is just the best angle I could find of a video. This by no means his furthest throw, obviously. But yeah, he's pretty good. Pretty good. And I, for one, have never been really a fan of his technique. It's basically a lot of the things I don't coach. But it goes to show you that even though I don't agree with it, I can't argue with the results. And if it works for him, then it works for him. But it was very... I don't know who came up with it, but somewhere in like the mid-2000s or like the mid-2010s or something, like people just stopped using their left arm. And I don't know if Ryan Whiting popularized this or what. Oops. But... well, let me just play this and you'll see the inactivity of his left arm. And it kind of looks like Tripp right now. A former Texas thrower. Tripp Pippery or something, I think was his name. But yeah, he doesn't really use his left arm until the finish. I'm not really a big fan of that. I like the left arm going past first because it allows you to turn a little easier over your left foot. I'm not saying rip out the back, but I'm just saying like don't hold it back because it makes it really unnatural to rotate. But this style works, I guess. I feel like he could have thrown further, but whatever. It works for him, I guess. So, and he's done it. I've seen videos of him in college and stuff, so he's been doing it since college. So maybe it's just a comfort thing, and it's just one of those things where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, So, and clearly it works for him. But I'm just not a big fan of it. But I can't argue with the results once again. So let's get into it. Well, first let me just play this again. What I am a big fan of actually is I'm a big fan of a lot of his positions. Ooh, sorry. Something's stuck in my throat. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I am a big fan of some positions and some are not his positions. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't even say why he's underrated. Well, I guess I kind of did, but I think he's underrated because I don't think a lot of people realize just how good Ryan Whiting was. And he was kind of holding it down in between when like Reese Hoff, Adam Nelson, Christian Cantwell were like past their primes and basically entering retirement, and when Joe Kovacs entered the scene. So basically he was probably the US's best shot putter between like 2013 to 2015. Just about. So, which I know isn't a very big gap, but I mean, yeah. I get, maybe you could say 2012 Reese Hoffa was still throwing over 22. But yeah, so he was kind of that bridge, and he didn't have a long prime because he had I forgot after what year. he had a debilitating knee injury, like basically a career-ending knee injury. Later in his career, like you can see him in videos of him throwing in comp with like a huge knee brace, and he just wasn't the same. Oh yeah, he also made the 2012 Olympic team. I totally forgot. Yeah, I totally forgot about that with Cantwell and Hoffa. So yeah, but yeah, so it sucks because if he didn't get injured, I feel like he could have thrown way further, which is crazy to say because he already threw insanely far and accomplished so much before he was injured. But yeah, I do believe that. I mean, he was already relatively young when he was injured. Like, he still had years of his prime left. So it sucks that got taken away. He was also, I think, a pretty good discus thrower. I think he was over like a 65-meter discus thrower, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So he was a really good dual venter. So, yeah. It sucks, but what are you going to do? So that's why I think he's underrated, really, because, I don't know. I feel like it sucks, like, to have, like, career-ending injuries like that in your prime. Or, like, when you still had, like, years left. So, to, like, throw really far. But, you know, what are you going to do? So, let's get into this. So, I've already discussed, well, I'll go into a little more detail, on this left arm. So, right here, he's not really moving it. So, the reason why he's doing this left arm, and I'm theorizing, is because he just wants to keep his wrap throughout the entire throw, basically. Like, he doesn't want to open his left side up, so then when he catches in the front, he stays back, which in theory works, but then it just makes moving your lower body really hard unless you're really mobile like he is. So, and I think it can lead to breaking at the hip, because the reason I like not throwing the left arm really, but having the left arm go a little ahead is because it can act as a counterbalance so that you don't break at the hip and shift over here, which I think, oh no, he actually doesn't, but Elon is blocked off a little on this throw, but we'll get to that. So that's the reason why I like that. But he does an okay job. I would like that armpit to be a little more, well, let me get a straight line. No, actually, that's pretty fine. Again, I wish this was just a dead-on back angle, so it's kind of a little at an angle on the right side, but what are you gonna do? So, it's here. Really nice. I really like the separation here. Alright. I think he turns his left foot. Actually, I think he over-rotates. I don't know. I can't tell if he normally does this. I think he's over-rotating because I don't like that left foot facing the left sector. I like it facing down the middle. So I think he's over-rotating, but I also can't tell if he's offset a little this way. So if he's offset this way, like on this on this side of the ring, like John Powell used to do in discus, then that's fine, that angle. But if he's just offset, and he's not offset, and he's just dead on the middle, then I think he's over-rotating. All right, but which again can also lead. Over-rotation can also be because of this left arm, because it makes you really, what's the word? Rotational instead of linear, which is okay out the back, but then you just never kind of stop the rotating. He kind of does, but not as much as he could. And also, he winds and he takes all his weight off this foot. And I know Tom Walsh does that. I personally am not a big fan of that. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But I personally like the simple approach of just both feet evenly balanced on the ground. Like even weight distribution, and just just making sure that you have both feet on the ground to be way more balanced. Because when you do this, this can lead to inaccuracies in your positions. And also, maybe you won't shift all your weight onto your left and you'll just fall back when you turn. So, but if it works for you, if it works for you. But I would not teach that to a beginner. Alright? And you don't see many pros start like this either. Tom Walsh is the only one I can think of that kind of starts a little more like this. Alright, so he's here. I think he picks up a little early with his right foot, but not that much. And I would like his groin to be facing. So I'd like the outside of the foot to be here and the groin to be facing, his right groin to be facing the sector. Kind of like a soccer kick. He kind of leads with the knee a little. And then kind of gets a little angular momentum. But it's not terrible. Maybe that's the reason why he over-rotates. I'm just hypothesizing because I can't say for sure, and this goes for anybody I review, I can't say for sure what they're doing in their technique because I have not worked with any of these guys. So, even though it would be an honor and a privilege to work with someone as good as the guys I review. But, yeah. So, I don't know if he over-rotates on purpose. Like, people do quirky things on purpose because of individualistic things or injury history so they can't hit certain positions and stuff like that. So, yeah, it could be many things. Or this just could not be a very good throw for him. I mean, I say this, it's only 21.47, and we all know that he can throw basically a meter further. So, I mean, maybe this just isn't a technically good throw for him. But we're going to have to deal with it. So, he's here. Let's get to this. So, here. And again, I would prefer his left arm, if this would stop, to be here. And a little more open. But that's just me. And I think more people are starting to open the left arm a little more. See that it's a lot more common nowadays. And this kind of style has kind of gone away. So, yeah. You know, evolution of throwing. So, you're here. Really nice. I really like the timing in the sprint phase. I don't really like... Well, I guess the tilted shoulder's fine. I would prefer... No, actually that is fine. It's not really tilted. He's just getting a high point. Again, this is a very bad angle to film someone. I say as my PR throw was filmed at this exact angle, actually. Well, not exact angle. But... yeah. Not the most ideal angle, but whatever. So he's here. Boom. Really like... Oh yeah, so I was saying the timing of his left and right foot in the middle. Whereas when the left foot is off the ground, he's getting ready to go with his right foot down on the ground. So then when his right foot grounds, his knees are basically at the same place. Like they're basically parallel with each other, which is really good timing. And then I really like the wide knees here, because I think it creates a big stretch in the groin. This almost looks kind of like what Walsh looks like in the middle as well. Actually, I'm starting to see a little similarities between what Walsh does and what Ryan does. A little bit of positions. But if you notice, he's keeping that right ankle stiff in the middle. You always want to do that. You don't want to let the heel collapse or go up, although I've never seen it go up really in this position once it's on the ground. So here, Lands a little blocked off, so I think he did over-rotate a little bit, so it kind of threw off his feet placement out the back, so he kind of got off the ground a little early and is kind of tilty at the finish. But we get the general idea. So he hasn't moved really his left arm at all until here. And then he's getting that stretch. He's throwing the left arm and getting that stretch again around his chest. And then he throws. And I really like his finish. His finish, I think, is really good. So his finish here. And I would like him to work the ground a little more. But again, he's landing blocked off. Normally he works the ground really well. And he still does a pretty good job. But again, because he can't really, because he's blocked off, and what I mean by blocked off is that his, like, you know that you're supposed to have a heel-toe relationship or a heel-heel relationship, depending on who you ask. Well, his right heel is here, and the left toe is here, instead of here, on this side. So his left hip is blocking how much his right hip can rotate through the block. So that's why he lands a little early, gets off the ground a little early, but it's not bad by any means at all. So he's here, boom, and then this is a good timing. You want to rotate as much as you can right here. So you want to rotate here, and you want to get off the ground basically until the shot leaves your hand. Now, obviously, you have to be tremendously strong to do that because you have to have the strength to push the shot in that time with your upper body as well. So, that's why you need a strong bench press, as cliche as that sounds, but that's really the reason why in the shot put is because of this. Because you're basically doing an incline single leg dumbbell bench press, basically. So it's here. Boom. And he's off the ground here with his right foot. He's not pushing anymore. And the shot, one more frame, well, two more frames, is leaving his hand. Jeez. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. So that's why it might sound a little weird. But I'm already too deep in this recording to stop. So here, boom. And then reverses. So if you notice, actually no, he still replaces where he finished. So that's good. Really nice block as well. So kept a really good block, really grounded block. Didn't hop at the finish, like didn't jump at the finish. Just rotated through. So I think he did a really nice job of that. I've always really liked his finish. So I love it. It was very rotational in all the right ways, very linear in all the right ways. It's just his back to middle I never really have been a fan of, but again, worked for him. But yeah, hope you guys learned something. Let me play this one more time, just regular speed. And yeah, hope you guys learned something and gained a new appreciation for what Ryan riding was and still is. But, and I'll link his height, weight, and personal bests and notable accomplishments in the video description. And I'll see you all in the next time. See y'all later.